My name is Daniel. I'm the host of Sales Remastered. If this is your first time watching the channel, watching any of the content here, under the notes are links to all the platforms that you can find my content on, and it's really designed to help anyone and everyone. You don't even need to be in sales. You need to just rely on communication, period. Everyone communicates. Everyone communicates for a specific result, whether it's to get an answer, whether it's to get a sale, whether it's to get a promotion, whether it's to get a job, whether it's to do something that you need an agreement from the other side, or you need action to be taken from the recipient of the message. You could be talking to your kids, your spouse, your employer, your boss, your colleague, your coworker, your subordinate, or even your executive. It is all sales. And this is what you're going to learn here on this channel. I hope to take all my experience that I've refined over the last 2 decades now, and I'm sharing with you to hopefully help you save time, help you increase your income, and help you avoid the pitfalls that I've already gone through. And that, my friend, is the value of having a mentor, of having someone in your circle that has the right experience to help you avoid those pitfalls and help you get to that next level that much faster. And that's what I'm gonna do for you today. In this episode, I'm gonna talk about POV. POV stands for, of course, point of view. And I think that everyone has a point of view. Prospects, salesmen, executives, everyone has their own point of view. And the reason why point of view is so important is because in the science of selling, we genuinely need to understand the point of view. Point of view of 2 different type of people. Number 1 is the prospect, of course, because if you don't understand the POV or point of view of your prospect, you're not going to understand how they make decisions. But more importantly, number 2 is the second person is yourself. That's right, it's us, meaning that we have our own specific point of view. The best analogy that I could use is think of POV or your point of view as a lens. And so we all have our own POV. I can look at something through my POV and see something completely different because my mindset is rigged in a different way. Whereas other salesmen will look at something through their POV and see something in a completely different light. And until they rewire their mindset, they're not going to see what I see. And same things happens with prospects. Prospects come in with a specific POV, a point, literally their own perspective of things, and you have to think of it as kind of just the way they absorb information. And when they absorb information through their POV, it goes through filters. These filters have anything to do from analytical parts of your brain to your primitive part of your brain to just problem solving portions of your brain. And so it has to go through those filters, and until you understand that process, your message is either going to be shut down with an objection, you're going to lose the attention of the person that you're engaging with, and you're not going to get the end result that you're looking for. So here's a few things that you want to keep in mind. Is that when everyone has their own POV, they come into the scenery with that POV. You're going to have your own POV, and you're going to try to implement that same perspective or that same view through the lens of that prospect, or through the lens of your employer, or through the lens of your spouse, or through the lens of your kids. Whoever you're trying to give the message to, understand that there is already a designated POV that you're coming in, and your POV is foreign. It's fucking different. So how do you adjust someone else's POV to look at light, or look at life, or look at the result the same way you do? Simple. You have to find out what the POV was designed from. You have to figure out the lens that POV was made of. Meaning, what is the value of the person looking through that lens? What is something that person looking through that lens can relate to, and how do I break past that lens, remove that motherfucker, and put my own lens in? So now our POVs match. And the true way and true method to get through to that POV is to study your craft. You have to understand that in engaging with prospects and engaging with anyone, repetition is what's going to make you better. And I want to put it like this. So you know, if you've ever had a girlfriend or a boyfriend or a best friend or a colleague who, you know, at one point was a stranger to you, meaning at one point their POV was different from your own. But because of that relationship, you were able to share your lens. It may not be on all things, right? They may look at the sky in a different light, but you may look at it in a different way. So it's not going to be on everything, but there are certain things that you share now your lens on your POV with them. And so they see the exact same thing, whether it's a TV show or whether it's a color or a name brand or whatever. It could literally apply to anything. But understand that whatever topic, whatever subject, whatever result your product or your services can bring, it is not going to be perceived in the same lens or through the same eyes as someone with a completely different POV from you. So now let me take a step back, and I'm going to explain this a little bit easier so you can apply it today, and I hope you do. So by applying this, you're going to notice less resistance. You're going to notice a little bit more compliance, and more importantly, you're going to notice interest to continue the dialogue. And that's exactly what you need. You need to continue luring that interest, the curiosity of your prospects, so that you can lead them. You can continue leading them to the actual sale, and that's the result. And so when I think about, POVs, right? I'm faced with different POVs all day, every day. I have, I work on a sales floor that's over 200 sales agents, all throughout the country. And then I also lead my own sales team, and my sales team has a different POV than the operation support roles that help us create the sale. It's always kind of like that clash, right? You would know this because, a salesman mindset is going to be a little bit more biased than a mindset of human resources, or a sales mindset or salesman POV is going to be far different from someone who is in accounting or someone who is an administrative assistant, because we have a biased opinion. Our income, the result that we're looking for, is tied to that result, right? And so if we don't get our POV across, if we don't get our point of view through the lens of that person that we really need that POV from, or that point of view from, then we're not going to get our end result, which happens to be tied into income. And that is what motivates us, right? It's your income. You are in sales, or you're trying to get the recipient of your message to do a certain thing because you see the upside to the result. Understand that is the universal mindset of anyone and anyone you are engaging with right now, is that they have a need to fill. They have a result that they're looking for, and you have to attach to that result, continue creating that interest, and say, yeah, sure, here, watch, let me show you how, and bring them closer. As you're bringing them closer to that goal, which is creating a sale or your prospect filling that need. In the midst of that process, it is your job to extract why it's important to fill that need. Now, it's beyond just, okay, well, let me help you fill that need. It's beyond that. It's actually, well, why do you want to fill that need? What will the result do for you? Why is that important to you? How will this trickle to benefiting that part of your life? And this is where your creativity comes in. Your creativity is very easy to use if you have a lot of experience. And that's why I always say repetition is key. Because you're going to notice that after multiple dozens, hundreds of times that you repeat a process, you're always going to come across a specific roadblock. These roadblocks are like objections, or you're going to face certain pitfalls. These pitfalls are files that are just burning your time, or prospects that are just burning your time. But you're going to notice that you always come across these same intersections. And there's only so many ways to go through a fucking intersection. It's either a four-way stop sign, or everyone takes a turn and then they move accordingly. But until we understand that these are just the same exact roadblocks, these are the same pitfalls, just in different ways, in different verbiage and different objections, that our path is still the same. Our path is to go from hello to congratulations, it was great working with you. That's the end product. That's when you make the sale, right? Well, the only way to truly identify the POV of someone is to properly extract the right information as to what that result gives them. And until you identify what that value is, like in my case, I work with financial products, and so the main reason why most of my prospects come and meet with me is so that they can create monthly savings, or they can create a lower payment, or they can get a lower rate. And I would say 90% of my competitors will just go from that. They'll say, okay, cool, you just want a lower rate? All right, let me see what I can do for you. That's it. It's not digging into the need that they need to fill. There's an underlying desire, and that desire is the reason why they need the lower rate and payment. So until you actually dig deeper, you don't know if they need that extra improvement in their budget for, stress that's keeping them up at night. You don't know if your solution can rid all the arguments that they have in that household, rid all the fear, all the sleepless nights, give themselves the security that they're yearning for, because they're not going to tell you that. When they first meet with you, all they're going to say is, give me your lowest cost product and I want it right away and I want it for free, or I'm going to report you online. And that's just how they do it. Why? Why do they do it? It's because their POV, their point of view, is looking at you as an enemy. They're looking at you as someone who can put them in danger and at risk of letting go and losing their money, of being sold. And so we understand as salesmen that we're already in that light. But how can we get out of that light? Simple. You follow all the techniques and the strategies that I share with you in Sales Remastered. I've got playlists galore packed with information about, mindset preparation, negotiation, selling, prospecting, marketing, and even sales therapy, where I share with you that all the bullshit that you have in your head right now, that's standing in your way right now, is the same shit that all salesmen have. The difference, though, is that of all salesmen, you're going to be the one enlightened. Enlightened knowing that I go through it, your colleagues go through it, the whole fucking world goes through it. And anyone in sales, which I personally believe is everyone, can really take value from. Now, why I believe everyone is in sales? Because again, communication is sales, my friend. If you're communicating any message, it's for a reason. It's because you want a yes. It's because you want them to comply. It's because you need an answer. It's because you need something that's going to attach to a result that you desire. And our prospects' POV is the exact same thing. But the problem is those that when we enter in with two different POVs, they're gonna clash. The lenses are gonna fucking break up against each other and they're gonna crack. And when they crack, that prospect's gonna be gone because you didn't identify their POV. And I don't want that shit to happen to you, and that's exactly why I put all this information here for free at Sales Remastered. Now go check out our feed, whether it is here on YouTube, here on Facebook, here on Twitter, here on Instagram, or wherever your attention is. Make sure you put Sales Remastered on your feed. It can just be that one post, that one tip, or that one video that can make a massive difference in your day. And when you make that difference and you create that momentum and you find that new tool that is just impeccable compared to all the other tools that you learn from your corporate training, or you learn from that person who's kind of doing it on your aisle, now here is actually more strategies, more techniques, more tools that have been refined by someone who had nothing else to rely on but persuading a prospect to buy their services and buy their products. And I've sold many things, from financial products over the phone to 45-minute applications over the phone about Pizza Hut, New York Times, and these people are asking questions to a stranger. How? It's because I understand the POV, and that's exactly what I want to do with you today. Is I want to help you understand not only your POV, but the POV of your prospects. And I believe that, my friend, is the way to unlock the sale. That is the easiest way to persuade someone, is if you understand how they see things. I hope this video helps, and I hope that in some way, shape, or form, this has enabled you to look past that grind, have the right tools so you can climb over that roadblock and get through to the next level of your life. Wherever that may be, I just hope to still be on your feed. So please consider subscribing, liking, sharing, comment below what your takeaway was, and I love to hear from you. I'll see you on the next video.